Hi. So I decided that in some of this Facebook series that I'm going to be doing, some of these live videos, answering people's questions about kids and dogs, mostly, that I would also answer some of the questions that I see in an online forum that I am a part of. So I am in the trainer circle in a popular dog training group that is on Facebook where people write in and ask questions and we give some free advice to answer fairly simple questions. And of course, a lot of the times we have to end up recommending more professional services, and people can then, hire me or somebody else from one of our professional organizations who can help them. My specialty, of course, is helping dogs and families with kids live a more harmonious life. But in any case, I wanted to I wanted to answer a question that I saw that came up yesterday, and I thought that I would just go over it super quick because it's something that I see a lot. So the question was, can my dog and my baby or child become best friends? So I'm curious what you guys think about that, if dogs and kids can become best friends, and what would be involved in that. I don't want to go too long into it here, but there are a few thoughts that I have, and maybe they would be helpful to you guys. I think that a lot of families who have kids get a dog because they think that dogs and kids go great together, and I think they do, sort of like peanut butter and jelly. Kids and dogs can learn a lot from one another, and kids can learn responsibility, respect, politeness, being gentle, being compassionate, and those kinds of characteristics, which I think are really important. But I do think that parents need to remember that it's not going to be the dog's responsibility to teach that to the child, but it's going to be the parent's responsibility to teach that to the child. And just as easily as a dog can help with those kinds of things, the opposite can also be true. So kids, if they're not guided with instruction on how to show respect to animals, it can turn south. And the family dog who you were hoping would be in love with your child might end up being afraid of kids if things aren't managed safely. And your kid, actually, if you don't manage the dog, the kid could learn to have a lifetime fear of dogs as well. So it can go both ways, but it can be a really beautiful relationship if you have things set up correctly. So just a couple of things that I would encourage families to do if they want to have dogs and children grow up together is management. I think that's one of the first things that you need to think about, is that the dog needs a safe place to be sometimes, and the kids need a safe place to be sometimes, where it's sort of a no dog zone or a no kid zone. And kids can get involved with creating those safe spaces. If you have a new baby, you definitely need those kinds of safe spaces, because moms and dads get so tired when there's a new baby in the house, and it's really hard to supervise adequately all the time. So you can set yourself up by having some zones in your house where the dog can be somewhere safe, and you don't need to worry about whether you're awake and watching every second, because that's really what has to happen to keep everybody safe. If you have toddlers, especially important, because toddlers move erratically. They're kind of spazzy. It's a little bit hard to know what they're going to do, and they can make dogs kind of uncomfortable because they're unpredictable. And with toddlers running and screaming and throwing things and sometimes hitting and not really understanding how to be gentle yet, it's super important that dogs have a safe place to be. I would also encourage you not to make a big deal about having them be physically in contact with each other all the time. So while your dream may be for them to snuggle in bed together and sleep together under the covers and walk to the park together and those kinds of things eventually, you need to build up to those kinds of things instead of expecting them to happen right away. So instead of starting by insisting that the dog and the child are constantly touching each other and in physical contact, I would build up to that. Those kinds of things take trust. A puppy is going to really frighten a toddler because it does bite. It bites a lot. We have a service puppy at our house right now. She just turned 10 weeks old, and she feels like, Jaws half the time. And it's not because she's naughty. It's not because she's a bad puppy. She's just a puppy, and that's what puppies do. And so that has to be managed, because if people in my house didn't expect that, then it could change their feelings about dogs in general. So, long story short, yes, I do think that many dogs and kids can be great friends. They're not going to start that way. It takes trust and time and management and training and work on your relationship together. On my website, Pooch Parenting, and on Facebook, Pooch Parenting, I have resources to help families who have kids and dogs. I also can do virtual consults to help people. If it's something that's fairly simple, I can give advice on how to set up success stations in your house and keep things well and give you some strategies and things that people can do to help you out. But if you're local in the Bay Area, I might be able to come to you if that's something that would be helpful. Ideally, we want to catch problems before they start instead of afterwards, because it's harder to fix a problem that's already established. But I am happy to work with you at any stage of the game. If you have a dog and you have kids of any age, or even if you're expecting, if you are pregnant or adopting and expecting to have a new child joining your household, there's a lot you can do to get your dog ready in advance of that. And I'm happy to help. So you can find us online, poochparenting.net. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Pooch Parenting. So if there's anything you need, send me a note. You can leave a comment on this Facebook video. You can share it if you know families with kids and dogs who might be struggling a little bit. I'm super happy to help. This is something I care deeply about. And I'm a former classroom teacher and dog behavior consultant, so I get the people part of it and the dog part of it too. So hopefully we can work together and I can help everybody feel better. Have a wonderful day. Bye.